The other day, I posted a video talking about some of the worst roller coaster names I've ever heard of. The response to this video was pretty good, not gonna lie, so I figured I'd follow it up with a part 2, but this time we're gonna do things a little bit differently. This video won't be explicitly my opinion. Chapter 1 of this video is going to be looking at the comments of my last video that shows what my viewers think are terrible coaster names, and I'm gonna chime in a little bit even though absolutely nobody asked. So let's go ahead and begin reading comments. Our first comment says, number 1 should have been Top Thrill Dragster. This is not only the worst coaster name, that is the worst name for any ride ever in the history of amusement park attractions. I don't know if I would go that far. The name for me is a bit iconic, and I understand why it was called Top Thrill Dragster. It's supposed to be a play on words for Top Fuel Dragster, but, you know, it's a roller coaster, so replace the word fuel with thrill and you have the name for this ride. It makes sense to me, at least, but I guess some people just don't really like the name, because this isn't the only comment that's saying this. Our second comment is bringing up any roller coaster named roller coaster, and there are also a few more of these that say that. Probably Roller Coaster at Lagoon is the biggest culprit of this. Yeah, it is a roller coaster. To be honest, I think a lot of the roller coasters named roller coaster are old rides. Who knows, maybe back in the day, roller coaster was the most revolutionary name of all time. Our third comment says Steel Vengeance is a stupid name. What is the steel trying to get vengeance to? I think for a lot of these comments, I'm just going to start playing devil's advocate and try to explain what was going through their head when they named these rides. Let me put myself in the shoes of the legacy CEO of Cedar Fair, Mr. Six. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Steel Vengeance isn't supposed to represent steel getting vengeance. I think steel is more of an adjective to describe the vengeance. The vengeance is so powerful that it's steel. Kind of like how you have the phrase, he ruled with an iron fist. Iron isn't going around fisting everybody, the same way steel isn't getting vengeance. The vengeance is steel. It's that good, or something like that. This is just what I'm thinking was going through their head. Next up, we have a comment that says Wrath of Rakshasa is terrible. It's way too many syllables. Yeah, I agree. It is a lot of syllables, and to be honest, nobody's calling it by its full name, the same way no one's calling Gotham City Gooner. That's in the past. There's a lot of rides with a lot of syllables, but Wrath of Rakshasa is a new one, so everyone's talking about this one. Our fifth comment would like to specify that this is an honorable mention. Behemoth, which is a land-bound monster next to a giant lake, and then you have Leviathan, which is a sea monster, which is about as far away from the lake as you can get. See, there's an easy fix to this. You just switch the names. And honestly, they're more fitting anyway, because Behemoth is supposed to be a giant thing. Why not rename Leviathan to Behemoth, and now Behemoth is the largest thing at the park? You guys should hire us for the marketing department, because we're cooking here. We have a comment here throwing shade at quite a few roller coasters, so let's go over a few of those. We have Wind Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. Yeah, honestly, they should have just kept Storm Chaser. Wind Chaser just sounds ridiculous. Invader at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, following the theme of removing vowels for some reason because it looks cool. Whose fault can we even call this? I mean, this was a vote. This name was voted on, but the other two options were probably worse than this one, so yeah, I guess. Also, I just want to point out that they brought up Apple's Apple at King's Dominion. Nobody makes fun of Apple's Apple, okay? Apple's Apple is special. It is exempt from all criticism. Our next comment says Good Gravy at Holiday World is idiotic. See, that one's pretty controversial, honestly. I think Good Gravy is a pretty good name, actually. It fits with the theme fairly well, and it's cute. It's charming. It fits. It's a family coaster that has a nice name. It rolls off the tongue pretty good. We have a comment here talking about Wolverine Wildcat. Is that even an animal? It probably is. It's an ancient creature in some obscure culture's mythology, and I'm a GP for not knowing it, but I don't care. Wolverine Wildcat sounds weird. Those were some of the comments that I got on my last video highlighting coasters that other people thought had dumb names. And now we're going to move on to chapter 2. We're going to bring in some more coasters that I think have terribly stupid names, because there were some that I left out. I want to start with Timmy Turner's Half Pipe Havoc at Nickelodeon Universe at American Dream Mall. This name is like what? It's just what parks like this do when they want to insert their IP into a ride with minimal effort. Put the name of the ride, but then make sure it belongs to a character. Name of characters, something or other. This half pipe does not belong to Timmy Turner. It belongs to whoever owns the mall. Nice try. There's no part of this roller coaster name that sounds good to say. Timmy Turner's Half Pipe Havoc. What do you even, how are you supposed to shorten this thing? You want to go ride Timmy? That doesn't sound right. If I were going to shorten this name, I would call it Half Pipe, which is unfortunate because Half Pipe would also be a lazy name. Next up, we're going to double dip at the exact same park because there's another coaster at this park that just has a stupid name. That's Sandy's Blasting Bronco. This is a fantastic ride. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It has really punchy launches, but it has a stupid name. This is another one where even if you abbreviate it, it just sounds dumb. Hey, you want to go ride Sandy? You want to go ride Blasting Bronco? My friends and I completely skipped abbreviating it altogether and we just gave it a new name. We just, for some reason, called it Sandy's Ass Blaster. I don't know why, that's just what stuck. Our next coaster on my list is Twister 3 Storm Chaser at Elitch Gardens. You're probably wondering what happened to the other two Twisters, and quite frankly, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the first one got destroyed when the park got relocated, and the second one's still there. They just renamed it to Twister 3 because they added some like junk on the side of the ride and said, hey, you know what? This ride is brand new. For every Twister that has fallen, a new one has arose with an extra Roman numeral little I next to it. We're on the third iteration of this ride, and Elitch Gardens wants you to know that because they put the number. They say third time's the charm, but for this ride, that's just not the case, because they couldn't get it right any of the 3 times they attempted this ride. The next entry on my list isn't necessarily a particular coaster, it's more so a bunch of them. Any of the Vekoma boomerangs named Boomerang? So many parks have a ride called Boomerang that it's just so lame. And the name was given to you by Vekoma. You didn't have to think at all. It's just like, what's this ride model called? It's a Boomerang. Oh, great. That's the name for it, Boomerang. But there's other parks out there who have a Boomerang that didn't name it Boomerang because they actually are creative. Great Escape in New England called theirs Flashback. There's a park in India that named their Boomerang Recoil. There's like 50,000 parks with the Boomerang called Boomerang, and it's just every time you visit one, you feel like you're in Groundhog Day. I spared kiddie coasters from my last video, but I don't think I'm going to spare them in this one, because we're going back to Kentucky Kingdom for their kiddie coaster, Holly Hawk and Roll. Please do not tell me that this ride actually means something. I'm gonna Google it just to prove that it's not real. It's fake news. Alright, let's see if this is a real thing. Oh, Holly Hawk is a real thing? Who named it this? Okay, well, Kentucky Kingdom named their kiddie coaster after a flower. But it still doesn't make sense. Flowers don't move. They stay rooted in the ground. So why are we hollyhawking and rolling? Because the trains are still shaped like roller skates. What does this even mean? Are you using the word hollyhawk as a verb? Like you're hollyhawking it? What is it? No, wait. No. Our next coaster, we have Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis. Now, this is a fine name. It's just not on the right ride. It doesn't make sense for a ride like this. Let me explain why. A ninja is supposed to be silent and stealthy. Yeah, you don't even know that the ninja is there until he strikes. You know this ride is here the entire time, and this ride beats the bricks off of you. Is that what? I guess that's what ninjas do, but I think ninjas get the job done a lot quicker than this one does. The last one on my personal list I want to talk about are basically 2 coasters that represent an idea, and that idea is reincarnating a roller coaster, essentially, by giving it a name that was previously held onto by a different ride at the park. For example, we have Zambezi Zinger at Worlds of Fun and Big Bad Wolf at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This could signify 2 things. Now again, this is pretty controversial because I know there's people who do like this, and I kind of understand why, but I personally don't. To me, this looks like nostalgia bait. To me, this looks like a way to get people who've been coming to this park for decades to come back to the park and quote-unquote relive their past, even though these rides are nothing like the original. The only thing the new Zambezi Zinger has in common with the old one is the spiral lift hill. The rest of the layout is, well, completely different and it's not even a steel coaster. Big Bad Wolf is an inverted coaster, yes, but it's not even in the same plot of land, and the trains don't swing. Granted, the theming is pretty good from what I've seen, but I feel like we could have went with an original theme here. There was no need to pull a dead and buried government coaster name out of the ground and slap it on something new that doesn't really resemble the old one. It just looks like a cop-out for parks to go, hey, you remember coming to this park 30 years ago? Well, we're bringing this ride back, so come back to the park and relive your childhood with your kids. And there is some truth to this, because 30 years from now, these kids are going to look back on these new iterations fondly and say, oh, those were the days. But they can literally say that about any other ride that's operating right now. That's a wrap on part 2 of showcasing really dumb coaster names featuring my comment section. If you want your comments to be featured in a future video, leave them down below and I'll probably read them. I'm a small creator, so there's a high chance of that. But I will say my next video is probably going to be looking more on the positive side and ranking coaster names that I think are actually good. So if you have some coaster names you think are good, leave them in the comment section. I'll probably read them off next video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.